US Philadelphia, where a man raped a woman on a train in front of everyone and not a single person stepped in. Not a single person tried to help the woman. She's been raped in front of a crowd and not a single person even called the police. What kind of a twisted society is this where such a crime can happen and nobody does a thing? In fact, the superintendent himself said somebody should have done something. It speaks to where we are in society. I mean, who would allow something like this to take place? And this isn't just a one-off thing. In 2011, a woman was murdered by her fellow staff member. Two Apple employees next door, they heard the murder, they had a debate, and eventually they decided not to call the police. 2011 in China, and a 2-year-old girl, she wandered away from her parents and got smashed by a van. 18 people passed by and did nothing. 18 people. After that, she was hit by another vehicle, which also didn't stop, and it took another 10 minutes for someone to actually help the little girl.
It shows a 2-year-old girl being struck by a van, not once, but twice, as more than a dozen people walk, drive, and cycle by, ignoring her, leaving her to lie in a pool of her own blood.
In 2009, up to 20 people watched a 15-year-old being gang raped outside a high school, yet they did nothing to stop the attackers. In fact, a few weeks ago, I witnessed a motorcyclist get smashed off his bike by a car, yet nobody stopped to help. Just me, another Muslim, and an old lady parked up and actually helped the guy because nobody else cared. There are so many more examples where people just aren't bothered to stop a crime or to help a victim. But why? Why don't people, especially in Western societies, help their fellow citizens? In fact, the opposite question should be asked. Why should they? Because according to their own values, there is no reward, no afterlife, no system based on morality. Everything is about me, myself, and I. Going out of my way to help another person, that's not going to benefit me. So screw it. Why should I put myself in harm's way? You know, why should I spend my time and my money to help a stranger? This is the essence of this society. And this is just on an individual level. If we look on the government level, it's more of the same. Haiti, for example, one of the poorest countries in the world, is neglected completely, even though it sits just off the US coast. Africa, which holds 22 of the 25 poorest countries in the world, is left for dead by Europe, even though Europe are the ones who sucked them dry in the first place. The greedy and selfish capitalists, they do not care about humanity. They care about their own pockets. Whereas in Islam, the idea of standing up for what is right is part of our DNA. Literally, the reason why this ummah is the best nation from all of the nations is because when we see something bad, we stop it. And when we see something good, we join in with it. You are the best nation produced as an example for mankind. You enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong and believe in Allah. So when we see somebody being attacked, we rescue them. When we see that a person needs help, we help them. But even more than that, when we see that a nation needs liberating, we liberate them. So when the Christian and Jewish Visigothic people came pleading to Tariq bin Ziyad to help them against their oppressive King Roderick, he responded to their call. And that's how Spain came under Muslim rule. When the Irish were suffering from their potato famine in the 1800s, which killed over 1 million people, it was the Ottomans who sent money and shiploads of food to help the oppressed people, sending more aid than Queen Victoria herself. Our ummah is moulded around enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. We have always been known to help others, especially the weak and the oppressed. This is what attracted so many people to Islam in the past. And when we get into a position of strength again, this is what will attract so many more people to Islam in the future, inshallah.
كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله ولو آمن أهل الكتاب لكان خيرا لهم منهم المؤمنون وأكثرهم الفاسقون